So this is a problem that had plagued me for about a week, and I thought I would give you the solution, at least one of the solutions to fixing an Nvidia video card slowdown when you're trying to do a hardware encode. So what you need to do is go into Premiere Pro, and this is for Premiere Pro users, by the way. So if you're not a Premiere Pro user and you're experiencing slowdowns, I don't know what to tell you. However, if you are using Premiere Pro, keep watching. So you open up the project, and I'll show you where you need to check, what boxes you need to check in order to get your video renders to export quickly. So what you need to do is go into File, Project Settings, General. Make sure that you have your playback engine right here. Make sure that the acceleration for hardware or the CUDAs are chosen. If you have if you have an AMD card, it obviously would be OpenCL. So if you have a Nvidia card, I would say GTX, whatever, probably 1080 and 1060, that 10 series probably. You would choose this box, enable CUDAs, click OK. Then go back into Edit, Preferences, and you want to go to Memory. Oh, and I'm sorry, not Memory, Media. And in Media, when I had this box checked for hardware accelerated decoding, that was actually the problem for the slowdowns and rendering times, which is very weird. So you would make sure that this box is unchecked, this box is checked, so that you have your hardware accelerated encoding, and then you would click OK and restart. Obviously, you'd have to probably restart your Premiere Pro. And then you come back in, and I'm going to show you. I'm going to actually change it back, but if you go to export, and I'll show you the first part first. So this is basically an approximately 11-minute video that my son made. I'm going to rename this, and I'll save it to the desktop because I'm going to end up deleting it, but just for testing purposes, and we'll call this test D. Save and export. And as you can see, the total render time, estimated time, is around 3 minutes-ish. And I will accelerate this. That's it. All right, so just for comparison's sake, I'm going to show you with the settings checked the other way, and then you'll see how much slower it was. And I don't know, Adobe's probably has to put a fix out for this, at least for some of us who have decent graphics cards, but for whatever reason the export times were super slow. And what I did was I had to go in and obviously figure this part out, but for the sake of this, I'm going to show you what it looks like when you don't have the things checked. So what I'll do is we have hardware accelerated decoding checked now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to restart this, we'll close the whole thing, and we'll come back in, and you'll see what it looks like when it's not working properly. Same project, same everything, and the only difference is that this one box was checked, and I'll double confirm this. So you go into your preferences and into media, you'll see right here that that box is checked, and it's telling you that it's also doing hardware accelerated decoding. So, and I don't know, for whatever reason, that was the reason for the slowdown. So we'll go over here, and we will call this one F. And export. And now look, it says 23 minutes, 21 minutes, and it actually takes way longer than even this. So as you see, it went from about 2 to 3 minutes to 20 minutes on an 11-minute file. So like I said, and all this week when I was doing my renders, I noticed that even though I might see something that says 20 minutes, it would actually take quite a bit longer, sometimes an hour, because it would hit certain spots and get stuck. And you can see like the time in terms of the estimated time, that will fluctuate, and it'll bounce up and down from 20 minutes. It'll count up. As you can see right here, it's counting up instead of down, which is not a good sign, and it's not using, it's not a good sign that it's using your proper encoding. So we'll cancel that because we're not going to need to go any further, but you see what I mean. So in order to fix that, like I said, just go back in, go to preferences, media, make sure that that box is unchecked for the time being, and let's see, we'll go make sure that our project settings also are CUDA accelerated. Okay. And I'll exit out because it did say requires a restart. Don't know if that's 100% necessary, but I'm going to do it just for the benefit of everyone watching. So we will reboot this program, go back into the project file. Just going to confirm that we have the proper settings, making sure CUDA is enabled. We go back into our settings, to media. Now that is not enabled as far as that is concerned. And when we export our file, we'll just rename that F. Yeah, why not F? So I didn't do the other one, but just for the sake of this, you'll see. Save. And in fact, and one of the things too, one of the cool things too is, make sure that your settings are correct. If you're exporting to YouTube, that you choose whatever it is that you want to export as. I won't mess with this too much, but if you want a smaller file size, change your target bit rate. I usually do about 8, but you could do as low as 5, and then export. And look at that. Lo and behold. And once again, I don't know why it does that, but once it starts to get going, it'll start to accelerate the encode. Also, depending on how many effects you have on your timeline, that could affect your render a little bit. But if you have a decent video card and you have the right settings checked, this should not take 20 minutes or an hour, which is what we were seeing. At least I was seeing on my renders this past week. And of course, after my jobs were done, I went back and I did some troubleshooting, and this is what I came up with. So I hope this helps, and I hope you guys have a great day. If you're a Premiere user, hopefully this will save you a bunch of time, and that's all I got. And as you can see, it's going pretty quick. But you already saw me render it once, so I won't make you watch the whole thing. All right, guys. Talk to you later.